Imagine this, you wake up every morning and reach for your favorite soda. Or maybe a cup of coffee so strong it practically stands up on its own. It's your daily habit, something comforting, maybe even energizing. But what if that very drink was quietly draining the strength from your bones? Osteoporosis affects more than 10 million Americans, most of them women. It's called the silent thief for a reason, because you often don't feel it happening. One day you're fine, and the next, a small fall or even a sneeze could leave you with a fractured hip or wrist. By the time symptoms show up, it's usually too late to fully reverse the damage. Here's where things get surprising. Harvard Medical School and other top institutions have been studying not just what builds bone strength, but what destroys it. And the truth is, some of the most popular drinks in the world are directly linked to lower bone density and a higher risk of fractures. And no, we're not just talking about alcohol. Some of these drinks are marketed as healthy, even essential for active people. Others are everyday comfort staples. But when consumed regularly, especially in place of nutrient-rich beverages like milk or fortified juices, they can set the stage for weak, porous bones. Here's what many people don't know. Bones aren't static. They're living tissue that's constantly being broken down and rebuilt. That means your daily habits, including what you drink, can either support that process or sabotage it. So, what are these drinks that may be robbing your bones of their strength over the next few minutes? We'll walk through 5 of the most common culprits backed by Harvard-led research and large-scale studies. Some may already be in your kitchen right now. But first, let's talk about the one that tops the list for bone damage, and yet still fills the shelves of every grocery store. Cola soft drinks. Let's start with one of the biggest and most surprising bone health offenders, cola. For many people, cola is a daily habit. It's refreshing, it's caffeinated, and it's everywhere, from fast food meals to break room fridges. But according to a landmark study from the Framingham Osteoporosis Study, women who drink cola daily have significantly lower bone mineral density in their hips, up to 5% less than women who rarely or never drink it. And this isn't just about caffeine. What makes cola particularly harmful to your bones is a combination of ingredients, especially phosphoric acid, which is added for that sharp, tangy flavor. Researchers believe phosphoric acid may interfere with your body's ability to absorb and retain calcium, a mineral that's absolutely essential for strong bones. Here's the part most people miss: not all carbonated drinks had this effect. The same study found that other fizzy drinks, like lemon-lime sodas or sparkling water, didn't show the same damage. It was specifically Cola's regular or diet that posed the biggest risk. Why? Because of that unique combination of caffeine, phosphoric acid, and sugar or artificial sweeteners. And the impact doesn't stop at women. Teenagers, especially girls, are also at risk. One study found that active girls who drank 2 or more sodas a day were 5 times more likely to suffer bone fractures than those who didn't. 5 times. That's a huge red flag. Let me tell you a real story. A 16-year-old girl who played soccer daily began experiencing unusual leg pain. She'd never had any serious injuries, but after 2 minor falls, she was diagnosed with stress fractures in both shins. The cause? Her doctor traced it back to her habit of drinking 3 colas a day, often instead of milk. Her bone scans showed early signs of mineral loss, and she was told to quit soda cold turkey. The results? Within a year of better nutrition and ditching cola, her bone density began to recover. Cola may taste good, but the cost can be much higher than the few dollars you spend at the vending machine. If it's thinning your bones from the inside out, it might be time to rethink what's in that can. Next, we'll look at another popular drink people often assume is healthy, especially after a workout. But it's hiding a salty secret that could be harming your bones more than helping your muscles. Sports drinks. They come in bright colors, flashy bottles, and bold promises. Rehydrate, replenish, recharge. For years, sports drinks have been marketed as the ideal companion to an active lifestyle. But there's something these labels don't mention: what they might be doing to your bones. Sports drinks like Gatorade, Powerade, and other electrolyte beverages often contain very high levels of sodium. And while sodium is essential in small amounts, too much of it can lead to a subtle but serious side effect: increased calcium loss through urine. That means every time you chug one of these drinks, your kidneys may be pushing more calcium out of your body, and less of it is going towards strengthening your bones. But here's where it gets more concerning. These drinks are often consumed after exercise, when your body's already under metabolic stress. Instead of replenishing what your bones need, like magnesium or calcium, they overload you with salt and sugar. In fact, a typical bottle of sports drink can contain over 200 milligrams of sodium and 20 to 30 grams of sugar. That combination doesn't just affect your waistline. Sugar can also contribute to chronic inflammation in the body, which weakens the bone remodeling process. Inflammation interferes with the activity of osteoblasts, the cells responsible for building new bone, and speeds up the work of osteoclasts, which break bone down. There's also the habit factor. Many people reach for sports drinks even when they're not exercising. They use them as a healthier alternative to soda, not realizing that the high sodium and low nutrient profile makes them poor substitutes for milk, fortified plant drinks, or even plain water. One woman in her 30s, a dedicated runner, developed early osteopenia, a precursor to osteoporosis. She was fit, ate relatively well, and didn't smoke. The twist: she was drinking 2 sports drinks a day for years, believing they helped her recover after workouts. Her doctor connected the dots. Her urinary calcium levels were unusually high. After switching to coconut water and magnesium-rich smoothies, her bone markers began to stabilize. The bottom line: if you're not sweating for hours or dealing with severe electrolyte loss, sports drinks are often unnecessary and potentially harmful to your bones over time. Your best hydration allies are simpler than you think: water, herbal teas, and mineral-rich drinks that nourish, not deplete. Coming up next, we'll explore a far more familiar culprit, one that millions enjoy socially or at home, unaware of how it weakens their bones with every pour: alcohol. A glass of wine with dinner, a cocktail on the weekend, maybe a beer or two to unwind. These habits are common, often even considered part of a balanced life. But when it comes to your bones, alcohol may be silently sabotaging your strength from the inside out. Studies show that heavy alcohol use is one of the most consistent lifestyle factors associated with low bone mineral density. And it doesn't take a lifetime of drinking to see the effects. Research from Harvard and other institutions has shown that even moderate to high alcohol intake, more than 8 drinks a week for women or 15 for men, can start to disrupt the critical processes that keep bones strong. How alcohol interferes with the body's ability to absorb calcium and metabolize vitamin D, two of the most essential nutrients for bone health. Without enough calcium, bones become brittle. Without adequate vitamin D, your body struggles to use calcium effectively, no matter how much you consume. But there's more. Alcohol impacts the balance of hormones like estrogen and testosterone, which help regulate bone remodeling. For postmenopausal women, who are already at risk for bone loss due to declining estrogen, alcohol can accelerate this process dramatically. In men, excessive drinking can lower testosterone, leading to decreased bone formation over time. One revealing study followed men who consumed more than 2 servings of liquor per day. They were found to have 3 to 5% lower bone density in the hip and spine than men who drank less. While that may not sound extreme, a small drop in bone density can mean a major increase in fracture risk, especially in older adults. Take the case of Susan, a 45-year-old marketing executive. She considered herself health-conscious, ate well, did yoga, never smoked. But after slipping on a step and fracturing her wrist, a bone scan revealed she had early-stage osteoporosis. Her only major risk factor, a nightly habit of 2 glasses of red wine. Her doctor advised her to cut back to 2 to 3 drinks per week. Within a year, her bone scans improved, and she began taking calcium and vitamin D supplements alongside lifestyle changes. The message isn't that you need to give up alcohol completely, but moderation truly matters. If you enjoy a drink now and then, be sure to offset it with bone-supportive habits, nutrient-rich foods, regular exercise, and medical checkups. Next, we'll dive into another daily habit that seems innocent, even essential to many, but maybe draining your bones 1 cup at a time. Caffeinated drinks. That morning cup of coffee. The mid-afternoon iced tea. Maybe even an energy drink to push through the last few hours of the day. Caffeine is woven into our routines. It wakes us up, keeps us going, and, for many, it's non-negotiable. But what if it's also quietly chipping away at your bones? Caffeine has long been studied for its effects on calcium balance in the body. While moderate caffeine intake around 300 milligrams a day, or less, appears to be safe for most people, the concern starts when caffeine becomes a constant companion throughout the day, especially when not paired with adequate calcium intake. One reason caffeine can be harmful to bones is that it slightly increases calcium excretion through urine. Over time, this means less calcium is available to maintain strong, healthy bones. The effect may be small per cup, but compounded over years, especially in older adults. It adds up. And here's something that might surprise you. A major review found that women who consumed high amounts of soda, both caffeinated and caffeine-free, had significantly higher risks of hip fractures. One study showed that women who drank 5 to 10 cans of soda per week had a 16 to 42% higher risk of hip fractures than those who rarely drank soda. So caffeine isn't the only issue. It's the combination of caffeine, phosphoric acid in colas, and poor nutritional compensation. In other words, many people drink these beverages instead of calcium-rich drinks like milk or fortified plant-based options. That said, not all caffeinated drinks are equally harmful. Tea, especially green and black varieties, contains compounds like flavonoids and catechins, which may have a protective effect on bone health. Some studies even suggest that habitual tea drinkers have slightly higher bone density, possibly due to these antioxidants. The key, again, is moderation and balance. Let's look at James, a 58-year-old teacher who drank 4 cups of coffee every day and rarely consumed dairy. He thought he was staying healthy by avoiding sugar and processed foods. But after a minor fall at school left him with a fractured shoulder. A bone scan revealed low bone mass. His doctor recommended reducing caffeine, increasing his calcium intake, and adding resistance training to his routine. A year later, his bone markers were back on track. So, what's a safe amount? Most experts agree that limiting caffeine to 300 milligrams a day, about 2 cups of coffee, is unlikely to harm bones if your diet includes sufficient calcium and vitamin D. The real danger comes when high caffeine consumption displaces essential nutrients. In our final section, we'll look at what you should be drinking instead. Because while these 5 drinks may weaken your bones, there are plenty of powerful options that can do just the opposite. Building bones, not breaking them by now. You've heard how certain popular drinks, cola, sports beverages, alcohol, and high caffeine concoctions can slowly chip away at your bone strength. But the good news is, just as some drinks harm, others can help heal and protect. Your bones are constantly being remodeled, and every sip you take can either fuel that process or fight against it. So what should you be drinking to support lifelong bone health? Let's start with the most underrated hero, plain water. It hydrates your cells, supports your kidneys in flushing excess acid, and helps your body efficiently deliver minerals, including calcium and magnesium, where they're needed most. If you struggle with water's lack of flavor, try infusing it with slices of cucumber, lemon, or fresh berries. No sodium, no sugar, just pure hydration that supports every cell in your body. Next, let's talk about milk and fortified plant-based alternatives. Dairy milk has long been recommended for its calcium content, but it's not the only option. Fortified almond, soy, oat, and rice milks often contain similar or even higher amounts of calcium, and many include added vitamin D, a critical partner nutrient that helps your body absorb and use that calcium effectively. Another strong contender, green smoothies. When made with leafy greens like kale or spinach, a source of healthy fat like almond butter or avocado, and fortified plant milk, they become a bone-strengthening powerhouse. Add in a few chia or flax seeds for omega-3s, which can also reduce inflammation in the body, a known factor in osteoporosis. Then there's herbal tea. Unlike traditional black or green tea, many herbal teas are naturally caffeine-free and rich in minerals. Nettle tea, for example, is surprisingly high in calcium and magnesium. Chamomile and rooibos teas offer relaxation benefits and antioxidant compounds that may help fight oxidative stress, another bone enemy. Bone broth is another traditional drink making a comeback. Rich in collagen, gelatin, and minerals, it may support not just bone density, but also joint health. Just be mindful of sodium levels if you're using pre-made versions. And don't forget orange juice, but only the kind fortified with calcium and vitamin D. While whole fruits are preferable overall, a small glass of fortified juice with breakfast can help you meet your daily bone nutrient goals. Especially if you're not getting enough sunlight or dairy. Timing matters. 2. Taking your calcium-rich drinks alongside meals can enhance absorption. Avoid pairing them with high caffeine or high oxalate foods like spinach or chocolate when possible, as these can interfere with nutrient uptake. Finally, if you do enjoy a drink that isn't bone-friendly like an occasional soda or coffee, balance it with extra sources of calcium and vitamin D. The damage comes not from the drink itself, but from the imbalance it creates in your body over time. Coming up, We'll tie everything together with a clear, hopeful message and a reminder that it's never too late to start protecting your bones. One simple change at a time. We've taken a deep dive into 5 drinks that may be quietly undermining your bone health: cola, soft drinks, sports drinks, alcohol, and excessive caffeinated beverages. What do they have in common? They often replace healthier choices, increase calcium loss, and interfere with your body's natural bone-building processes. But the message here isn't about fear. It's about awareness and empowerment. The truth is, osteoporosis doesn't happen overnight. It develops silently over years, often decades. The drinks you reach for each day might seem harmless in the moment, but they could be tipping the balance of your bone health in the wrong direction. The good news: your bones are always changing, and that means it's never too late to support them. Even small, consistent changes, like switching from soda to water, reducing caffeine intake, or adding a fortified smoothie to your breakfast, can help rebuild strength and reduce fracture risk. So here's your challenge. Take a moment today to look at your routine. What's in your fridge? What do you reach for when you're tired, stressed, or thirsty? Could a few simple swaps help you stay stronger, steadier, and more resilient in the years ahead? And if you found this video helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about: a parent, a friend, or a neighbor. You might help them prevent a painful fracture or uncover a hidden risk before it's too late. Because every day, with every sip, you're either building your bones or weakening them. And now, you know which drinks to watch out for and which ones to embrace. So let's raise a glass, not of soda, but of something that supports the strength you deserve.